How do you pack for an overnight trip with your partner? Be sure to check out our limited time only shirts, water bottles, hoodies, and so much more, available for only a limited time on the PBR merchandise store, linked in the description down below. Welcome everyone to Power Brainbows. I'm of course your host, Professor Pride, and on today's show we're packing for an overnight trip with your partner and showing you everything you need from clothes, toiletries, and everything in between, all for that overnight trip with your partner. Now, I'm packing for an overnight trip with my boyfriend later this week, but you know, you can pack for an overnight trip with your girlfriend or non-binary NB or, you know, anyone that you're with the same sort of premise. This is just a baseline for that and things to think about and keep in mind so you don't forget anything. But before we get to all those great items, don't forget to like this video, comment down below your LGBTQ friendly thoughts, hit that rainbow subscribe button so you don't miss out on weekly LGBTQ educational episodes, and share this video with your partner and everyone who might need it. So, first, you're going to need a pack to actually put everything in. And I find it easiest to kind of use just a regular backpack for this sort of thing, where it's inconspicuous and it's just a regular backpack that you can throw over your shoulder on the way into your boyfriend's apartment or their house or whatever. And that way it looks kind of nonchalant of like, hey, it's just my backpack, but it has everything you need inside of it. And that way it has plenty of little compartments for everything you're going to need to put in there. But if you're staying for more than one night with your partner, you might want to choose a little bit bigger of a pack, such as one of these kind of duffel bags for like a gym or something like that. And that way you can fit a lot more clothes in or whatever you need in. And that way it's just a little bit easier throughout the week, having all of your clothes like lined up, and that way you just pick out one outfit a day, or even a suitcase or something like that, like a carry-on suitcase. It's a really easy way to carry everything you're going to need for that entire trip with your partner. Also, try to keep in mind where you're actually going to go with your boyfriend on your dates during your entire stay with him. So if you're going to go somewhere fancy for a meal at night or something like that, maybe you want to take a dress shirt and a tie along with you instead of just a t-shirt for that night. And even if your boyfriend is the same sort of size as you for shirt-wise, maybe take your own just to show that you're prepared and that you want it to look fancy and beautiful and dressed up just for him. But if it's a more casual date that you're going on, perhaps a t-shirt and shorts is more than good enough for that situation. So just try to keep that in mind. I also try to pick out clothes from my closet and try everything on, see if it's going to work all together in an outfit, make sure that it works as a complete outfit, and that way I know exactly what I'm taking and I know it's going to look good for my boyfriend. And that way I can continually impress him no matter the situation we're going in. So like I said, we're actually packing for a one-night trip with my partner, and you can obviously take all the quantities I'm talking about here and expand them upwards by however many days you're staying with your partner. I always try to pack from the bottom up of what I need last to what I need first on that date. So that way it's easier to access, especially in a small pack like a book bag. So for that one night trip, we only need a backpack for that. It's quite simple. So on this date, it's actually in the summer, so I don't really need long pants, but just in case it gets cold on the second day of our trip, I want to make sure I have long pants just so I'm not freezing my bum off. So I actually take a pair of long pants with me no matter what, and it's just kind of funny for me because on the inside of my jeans all the time, it always has the word straight in there, and you know, hella gay. But I will pack this on the very bottom of my book bag because it's gonna be the last thing and least likely thing I need on that date. So I just put that in the very, very bottom of the backpack. And also keep in mind, I'm rolling all of my clothes up in tiny rolls here because it's a lot easier to pack as much as possible in the smallest amount of space when you roll your clothes. So even if you're going on vacation, make sure you roll your clothes up before you actually pack them all up. It keeps it where it doesn't wrinkle the clothes, but it also keeps it as small as possible for packing as tight as possible in the smaller packs. Next up, I always pack a pair of pajama shorts and a tank top or something comfortable where it's comfortable, but it's shorts and a tank top for a reason here. First off, it's soft that way it's easier for them to cuddle up next to you and feel comfortable, whereas something like rough might not be so comfortable to lay on. So keep that in mind and make sure you feel your clothes and make sure that they're soft enough for that. This is also a good enough pair of clothing where you can lounge around the house, you can cuddle on the couch around roommates of his or whatever, and it's not where you're obscene and you're completely nude for the entire night without shorts on and without your day clothes on. So just enough for that kind of situation, but also a tank top and shorts so you don't get hot, because even if it's the middle of winter, having shorts and a tank top is kind of the best, because keep in mind, once you get under the covers with your partner, it's going to get hot pretty fast, and you don't want to start sweating while you're cuddling with them, because that is always gross and icky. So just take a pair of shorts and tank top with you, and if you do get cold, then you just have to cuddle a little closer to your boyfriend then. But if your boyfriend decides to sleep nude, maybe you can do that too. But just for lounging around the house and cuddling, these are great pieces of clothing to take, so I'll put those in next. Next up, I'm taking a pair of boxers or briefs or whatever you wear in your day-to-day life for the second day on the trip. And that way, you have a pair of boxers to wear the second day that's not all dirty. I'm also packing a t-shirt for the second day. Now, I'm going to wear a pair of shorts to my date with him, and so I don't have to worry about packing shorts with me. I already have that on me for the first and second day, and shorts and pants are good enough for 2 days in a row. That's perfectly fine, but I need a second shirt, so I'm packing that up. Next up, I'm packing 2 pairs of socks with me, and you might ask why I'm doing that. First is the second day, you're gonna need a pair of socks to wear around and, just go wherever you're gonna go on your dates the second day. But the second pair is actually, what if you go out and you get your socks soaking wet and you just cannot wear them anymore? You want a second pair of socks, because trust me, having a cold feet and wet feet is absolutely horrible. So take 2 pairs of socks with you just in case one gets wet. Next up, I'm taking an extra face mask just for the second day, or just in case the first one gets dirty or something like that you're wearing the first day on your dates or whatever. Just having an extra face mask around to wear just in case is always recommended. So I'm taking that. Of course, this is being recorded in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic of 2021. So if we're out of that at any point, then you probably don't need this in the future. But for right now, it's something to keep in mind and keep in your backpack. And now we're gonna just zip up that main compartment, because that's all of our clothing, and we're done with that section. But these front sections are still empty, so we're gonna fill them up with our toiletries, because we want easier access to those items in our front of the pack here. So what I always take with me to every overnight trip are a few essentials that you're gonna need. First off, you wanna make sure that you have clean teeth the entire date weekend, so that way, you can always kiss your boyfriend without any worries at all. So I take a toothbrush, some toothpaste with me, and for the toothbrush, I get a little baggie, the sandwich baggie, and I put that actually in the sandwich baggie, so that way it doesn't get dirty with anything else. And I also take some flossing little picks here, and that way, just in case something gets stuck in my teeth or something like that on a dinner date, then I can go back to his apartment and take that and floss it out and pick it out or whatever. Keep a couple of them in this baggie at all times too. Also, if you're going on a little bit longer of a trip, or depending on how fast your beard or mustache grows, you might want to take an extra razor with you, a brand new razor, and that way it's a little easier to shave while you're on the road with him. So I just package that all up, make sure all the air is out, and put that in my backpack along with a toothpaste. Now, if you're going on an overnight trip, one thing to keep in mind is you're not generally close to home when you're going on this trip. So you might try a new restaurant that you've never tried before that he recommends in his area. So because of that, I always take a bottle of Pepto-Bismol with me on overnights, and that way, in case I get sick on whatever food, I have a bottle with me to kind of ease my stomach for at least the night, and that way I don't have to run to the store and grab something really quick. I can just run to my bag and get it from there. So I put that in my bag as well. And I also keep a bottle of suntan lotion in my backpack just in case whatever we decide to do, if we suddenly change plans and we go on a walk together, well, I have a bottle of suntan lotion so I don't burn like crazy because I know my skin and I know I burn. So keeping this bottle with my backpack is really easy just in case plans change, or if we're going to a park one day, well, I don't want to burn and have to deal with that at night and the next day when I'm still trying to have fun with my boyfriend, so I want to keep that on me at all times. Also, it's a great way to be like, hey babe, do you want some suntan lotion too? Let me put it on you. And with that in mind, I also take a pair of sunglasses with me to all of my dates just in case it gets a little sunny and I need to quickly put these on to drive better or to just see my way around so I don't trip or whatever. So I keep a pair of sunglasses extra in my backpack right in the front here, so that way if I'm driving or something like that, I can quickly reach over to my pack and open up this little pouch, get my sunglasses out, and that way the shade doesn't make anyone less gay. And because I'll perhaps be using my phone with a GPS, trying to find different places we're going to and using my phone to text my friends of how it's going, well, I want to make sure that my phone is charged at all times. And because my boyfriend has an Android phone and not a cool phone like an Apple, well, I want to take a phone charger with me with an AC adapter. That way I can charge my phone overnight, and that way it's fully charged for the next day so I can actually find my way back home. But with that, just keep in mind, if your boyfriend has the same type of phone as you or something, maybe they have a spare charger, just ask them in advance. But I always keep this in my backpack just in case that a certain phone charger isn't working that day. So I keep that right up front here as well. And now on to making sure you smell good at all times on your date, because the last thing you want is for your boyfriend to be cuddling up next to you and holding him close and you just stink in your armpits because you got a shower but you don't have deodorant. So make sure you're taking a bottle of deodorant with you to make sure you smell good. I cannot recommend that enough, because cuddling does get a little bit hot with you both next to each other, so you make sure you smell good with some deodorant. Along those same lines, I would take a bottle of cologne with you. Now this is a bottle that both of us really like, but you can take any bottle of cologne that you want, and that way if you're going somewhere on a dinner date, you can quickly rub some on your palms or on your neck, and that way, you know, you can smell all good and fancy for your boyfriend, and he will want to cuddle up next to you and be very close to you. So I put that in here as well. The next few items on our list go back to our other class and master class on Gay Sexual Education 101. So if you haven't checked that out, go back and check that out first. But these are more of an adult nature items that you might want to keep in mind. So first off, take with you condoms, just in case you need them for oral or anal sex. You definitely want to keep some condoms on you. Don't just rely on your boyfriend having these at his apartment or whatever, or on him. First off, you should have one in your wallet at all times just in case, but keep 2 in your backpack. And you might ask the question, why 2, Matt? Well, I mean, you're gay, so 1 for you and 1 for him. I always keep that in my backpack right up front and very easy to access in a little pouch up here. Next up, along those same lines, I always keep a bottle of lube with me in my backpack just in case things do get hot and heavy and your boyfriend ran out of a bottle or your boyfriend doesn't have a bottle, which, I mean, some of these things he should probably have at his apartment no matter what, and you should keep 1 bottle at each apartment or whatever, but just maybe for the first time you're going somewhere, take 1 with you just in case he doesn't have that and you want to do something. It's a lot easier to do it with some lube. Next up is something you may not think about right away, but for me, I always get dry eyes with being a video editor and stuff like that, so I take some eye drops for that purpose. But also just keep in mind, if you do get hot and heavy and something ends up shooting in your eye that isn't supposed to be there necessarily. Eye drops really do help in making sure that it doesn't sting as much for as long and getting that certain kind of liquid out of your eyes that's not supposed to be there. So keep some eye drops in your backpack just in case. Next up, in one of these little side pouches here, I mean, it's always a great little place to hide something that your boyfriend's not going to see from your clothes or you getting your toiletries out. So these side pouches are great little places to hide certain other things, just in case you want to experiment a little bit in the bedroom and tie each other up or whatever you want to do, or any kind of toys that you want to play with that weekend. Well, you have a little place to store them in over here without your partner seeing it immediately, and that way you can surprise them a little bit later on throughout the night. Now keep in mind, this backpack doesn't include everything that you might want to include in yours. For instance, in your trip, ask your partner if he has an extra washcloth and towel that you can borrow that night, so you can get a shower that night or the next morning before you go out somewhere on your next adventure the next day or come back home. Keep that in mind. So if he doesn't have those items, communicate with him and make sure you pack those in your backpack for the night, especially that first time. Communicate with him. Secondly, you might want to take with you a pillow that you're used to sleeping on, just in case he doesn't have an extra pillow or you're used to having multiple pillows underneath your head at night. Just keep those kind of things in mind and pack everything that you're going to need. Even if you leave that pillow or that towel and washcloth in the car overnight, it is perfectly fine. Just make sure you have it in the general vicinity just in case you need it. You can run out to the car and get it. Another thing we didn't mention on this list is in case you need any certain medications daily, keep those in the front pouch of your backpack, or inhalers, all that kind of stuff goes in the front pouch. I don't personally take any medications daily, so those would go along with all of your toiletries to make sure you don't forget them. Finally, I suggest keeping a bag like this packed in your car at all times, even if it's in the trunk of the car or something like that. For instance, if you're at his house and you weren't planning on staying the night that night, but you end up staying the night anyway because you had too much to drink or you're too tired or something like that, keep this bag in your car just in case you need to. All you need to do is go out to the car, quickly get it, and come back in rather than driving all the way home that night while you're drunk or you're too tired. Also, don't forget to take your phone because he's going to be texting and it's going to be so cute. But anyway, that is how you pack for an overnight trip with your boyfriend or your partner. I hope you've learned a ton from this tutorial, and I hope you have lots of fun out there with your partner. I know I will. And I know a pack like this makes it so much easier so you don't have to think about outfits or think about anything you might need that day on the road. It's all here in one bag, easy to swing over your shoulder and take into his apartment or his house. Anyway, that's all for our episode today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you'd like our content and want to support more LGBTQ education in the future, please consider checking out our Rainbow merchandise store or becoming a member of our channel to see exclusive behind-the-scenes content, bloopers, and so much more. Don't forget to like this video, comment down below your LGBTQ-friendly thoughts or things that you think we might have missed on this list, hit that rainbow subscribe button so you don't miss out on new episodes of the show, and share this video with others. As always, I'm your host, Professor Pride. Thank you so much for watching. Have a gay day, everyone, and bye for now.